Okay. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm looking at it from my camera to my monitor. Happy to do this again this evening. My name is Moses. I'm a product manager with Temi, and I've been a product manager for a couple of years, 3 years and counting. And I don't know what other introduction I should add. But yes, I'm happy to do this, especially with the PIP community, because PIP gave me the chance I needed. IPS was my first program when I joined PIP session, and I'm glad I'm now a mentor and I can help people, you know, land opportunities. So before we start today's session, for those, I don't know how many people were present last week. Oh, okay. Oh, Fortune was present. Wow. Okay, so I don't mind taking questions from last week in the next 4 minutes before we start today's session. So if you were here last week and you probably had questions that were not able to take, I think I can take that in the next 3 minutes now. Okay, I guess not. So that means we can start, right? This evening, I'll be walking us through how to land pro manager interviews. And so can you guys hear me? Let me just be sure. I'm not using glue today, by the
Yeah,
way.
I can.
Okay. So I'll be walking us through how to land pro manager interviews. And okay. As usual, this is going to be practical guides, things that I personally have tried and some of my friends as well have tried and has worked for us. So I've been able to, put some things together, and in the next, say, 32 minutes, I hope I'll be able to walk us through that so that we can have time for questions. So uh, let's start. Yes. Now, the thing is, just imagine, I know one of the challenges that we often face as PMs um, is not being able to, get that back. Yes, Andrew, this is being recorded. Yeah, so as PM, we often face the challenge of, applying to different roles and, we don't get callbacks, or sometimes when we even do, we get rejection emails. I remember, was it sometime this year, January 1st this year, everybody was in a very festive mood, offensive mood, just like myself. And I think it was like 12:05 a.m. Excuse me, I got this rejection email. And I don't even know when I even applied for the job. And I'm like, why do you want to ruin my mood for the day? Right? The same thing happened on my birthday last year. I think I got about 5 rejection emails on my birthday last year. And trust me, it was hurtful, right? But the thing is, there are, for the past few months now, I've been able to, go beyond myself and a lot of my friends. We've been able to go beyond the stage of applying to 100 jobs and getting like 70 rejection emails, and then 30 of them just like ghost on you, right? So what are we to expect in this session tonight? I'll be walking us through how to optimize our CVs and our LinkedIn profile. And I actually have like a surprise for each of these things we are covering, because I well he's no longer a surprise. Like I decided, so let me say I was able to, out of generosity of my heart, had some of the prompts that I use in achieving some of these things. So I would work on how to optimize our resume and LinkedIn profile. how to craft compelling cover letters, how to network effectively, and then interview preparation strategies, right? So, how many minutes have I spent? 2 minutes of my 32 minutes. Why does this matter, right? Doing this would, open us up for more job opportunities, which is something that a lot of community members struggle with. A lot of product managers generally struggle with, right? And then it's going to increase our chances of getting interview invites. So I hope that we'll be able to stay with me to the end of this session and invite some of our friends that should be here and are not here yet. Now, the first thing is resumes, right? It marvels me, right, that I come across people's resumes, sometimes 1-2 years of experience, and then they have CVs that like 4 pages long. I stand to be corrected, or let me say just a disclaimer, right? I'm not disputing the fact that even in just like a year or two, you might not have been able to do so much, or you've been able to do so much. Like myself, I have 3 years of experience, and in 3 years, I've been able to work on over 7 products, right? For those that attended last week, I emphasize the importance of this, that when you are applying for jobs, right, you should make sure that your resume is like properly tailored to the role you're applying for. It is usually an added advantage when you have so much experience or multiple job experiences, right? Because that way you have the opportunity to add the best of the experiences, right? Also, for those that have not been able to even have a job at all, right? You can still optimize your resume to, have something tangible, right? A sad reality, and I call this sad because this was also something I struggled with about product managers' role, is that it is very, very difficult for us to, break into the space. This is because companies often trust experience, right? You see that they are putting a job ad for internship, a product manager intern, and they're asking for 1 year, 2 years experience, right? This is because we play a crucial role. Like I love to say, we stand at the center of business on one end. So can you guys see me? Let me be sure.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So I was saying that it's difficult for us to break into the product manager space or product management space because companies often look out for experiences, right? They put out internship opportunities and then they say they're looking for someone with 1 year, 2 years experience. I think it was today that was in Money Point or so, put up a job ad that they wanted to get women into tech. Product management was one of the lists. And then on the list, you're asking for a year software engineering experience to get an internship role, right? Again, this is because we play a crucial role. We sit at the center of UX, business, and then tech, right? So it is important that you, even if it is a little bit of experience, it's important that you have that, right? So, and unlike product designers, unlike software developers that they can easily just, cook up a project for themselves, design something exciting and all of that, we as product managers actually need to leverage on other people to be able to do that, right? It goes beyond writing PRDs, FRDs and all of that. Our job is measurable based on what we've been able to achieve, right? And to achieve something, I don't know if I'm making sense or you guys understand me, but to achieve something, okay, but to achieve something, you need to leverage other roles, right? Take for instance, I have a product idea. Even if I'm not developing it, I need to like come up with wireframes, right? And sometimes we are unable to, achieve that, right? But the good news is, even if you can't do all of those as an entry level, on one hand, you can actually still like cook up your resume, cook up not in the sense that adding lies or whatever, but you can actually just like, make your resume make a lot of sense for someone to see, oh, this person has prospect, this person knows what he's doing, this person knows their stuff. And for those that has a little bit of those that has or those that have in English, for those that have a little bit of experience, right? There's a way you can also, make your resume measurable, right? So I forgot to add that here, but I think I would love to show you guys my CV. So let me just quickly pull that up. I'm not using my. Let me just pull that up. Sorry, that should take less than a minute. Okay. Now, so this is what a typical. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see the CV I'm presenting? Right. So this is what a typical CV should look like. Though some people would argue that okay, you should add your background. But I think I've read in a lot of places where they say this background sort of set some level of expectation, which can in a way play to your good, which can in a way play to your bad, right? So overall, I'll just prefer to remove it, right? So one of the tips I want you to know is that add measurable experiences in your CV, right? So if you're looking at if you can see my screen, you can see that my CV is like digits rich, right? 10%, 0%, 15, 30, and all of that, right? So this is one of the important tips that you should make sure that you put to use when crafting your CV, because again, our role is very crucial and people want to see what you've done, basically. People want to see what you've been able to achieve, right? And how best can you do that other than adding measurable achievement? So some of the tips I added here, not to bore you, because I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, is that number one thing, apart from the whole making your CV, measurable and all of that, you should tailor your resume to the job description. I said something last week about not applying to so many jobs, right? Before you apply to any role, I think a very important thing is that you should check the job description. In fact, I have a friend that goes as far as going to LinkedIn, going to Glassdoor to even review what previous employees have said about that company, right? But at least at the very basic, tailor your resume to the job description, right? Typically, when you say job description, they had what they expect. We are looking for 3 years. We are looking for someone that is good at building roadmaps. We are looking at someone that has skill sets in driving a product from 0 to 100 and all of that. So how best can you then impress your interviewer or the person who is reviewing your CV, other than making sure that all of those things they are looking for, right, is in your CV. So what I'm saying is, take for instance, we see a job description that says we are looking to build a startup, right? It will make a lot of sense for you to then go into your CV and then add that you are good at building a product from 0 to 100. You are good at drafting go-to-market strategies. You are good at building roadmaps. You have skill sets with building wireframes and all of that. And second thing is highlight measurable achievements, like I said earlier. Number three, keep it concise, right? You don't want to bore the person looking at your CV. Like I've seen people with literally 20 years experiences, 20 years worth of experience, and they don't have more than 2 pages of CV, right? I'm not saying you should shortchange yourself or undersell yourself. What I'm basically saying is make sure that whatever you're adding to your CV is job relevant, like it is relevant to that job. Then number four thing is that you should use AI, right? You can employ AI in optimizing your CV, and then you can also use AI to cross-check. So here are some of the prompts that I use and I've helped like people use when building their resume, right? So the first prompt is just go on Gemini, go on ChatGPT, go on Cloud, and then type here is my background and everything I have done. Tell me yes if you understand, right? So at this point, you add what's it called? You add your background, you add the list of everything you've done, whether you served as the secretary during your university days, add it to it. Don't worry, just add everything to it, right? Then the next thing, immediately the LLM tells you yes. The next thing they want to do is upload your CV, right? And then tell me yes if you understand. So read my CV and tell me yes if you understand. Like at this point, it's going to tell you yes, right? Now the third thing they want to do is upload the job description, right? That you already have. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. So upload the job description that you already have, right? And then add then impute this prompt, read the job description and tailor my CV to meet the requirements. Add measurable achievement, comma, use my background and CV as guide, right? So at this point, all you're expecting is a properly laid out CV, then you cross-check it, copy and paste, and then you have your CV ready. The next thing is your LinkedIn profile, the Yoruba money profile. Your LinkedIn profile, right? People often underestimate the power of LinkedIn, right? This was another thing I struggled with because I'm not a very, very formal person. If you have a chat with me, trust me, in less than like 2 hours, I've started using boss, senior man, and all of that, right? But then I later found a way to, accustom myself to using LinkedIn because LinkedIn is more like if, especially for those just trying to break into product management, right? It's more like a very good place to show your growth trajectory, right? So people are able to come to LinkedIn. It's more like a marketplace for talent, right? So people are then able to come into LinkedIn and then see, oh, this person went to Old School Africa, built a social project. At this point in time, they're looking for a job, right? So they're able to track your record. They're able to say, oh, this person has worked in social place. This person is just breaking into the space and all of that. My LinkedIn, I make sure that it's usually optimized. I can assure you that if you type in product manager in Nigeria currently on Google, my LinkedIn profile should pop up, right? Coupled with some other people's profile. And one of the tricks to this is we are able to, optimize our LinkedIn from time to time to make sure that it stays relevant. So if you look at the header, right, I make sure that the header speaks to what I'm doing, not just a program manager, not just as a program manager. AI is in vogue. I'm trying to become an AI PM as well. Like I'm trying to get better as an AI PM. So that is also there and all of that. And I also make sure that all of the contents I churn out are relevant ones that people are looking for. So there's something called SEOs, right? So I make sure that all of the content I churn out, as much as they are relevant, right? As much as I don't, cook up stories or cook up lies, I still make sure that my choice of words, my choice of title, and all of that are what is relevant, such that when anybody's looking for a product manager anywhere, or they have challenges with product management and they type in anything relating to product management, right? They will then be able to, I will then be able to pop up and then my profile will now then do justice, right? So in essence, make sure that your LinkedIn profile is optimized, right? And make sure that you engage people, like you make sure that you are always appearing, right? You're always turning up. So I listed a few tips here. Sorry, I just gave the description. I didn't mention that. So the first one is I use professional photo and headlines, right? Write an engaging summary with key skills. You can maybe draw inspiration from my profile. There is someone I know as well, Adebisi Aderomo. You can also draw inspiration from her profile, right? Engage with industry related content. I feel that even for me, I've not done this a lot, but I have a friend in PIP as well, Latifat, right? You can, check out on LinkedIn, see how she churns out content, right? So in terms of using AI to, make things better, right, for myself, these are some of the prompts that I use. So the first thing is, or these are some of the prompts you can actually use to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So the first thing is, here is my background and everything I've done. Tell me yes if you understand. Number two, read my CV and tell me yes if you understand. We're trying to like give it context. Now, number three, let us update my LinkedIn profile together. I'll ask you the questions and you will give me the content. So then at that point, you start typing headline, right? You start typing experience and all of that. And then it gives you the relevant responses. Again, cross-check, make sure that there are no mistakes. Mistakes in the sense that, AI is trying to oversell you, right? Then the fourth thing that you can also do is the fourth prompt you can also use it in a table. Give me a 30 days content calendar to post on LinkedIn. Add the content, right? And then you see a 30-day calendar, the content, and you can even add hashtags, right? So that your face is popping up from time to time, right? That's another trick. Two, landing PM interviews. So the third thing is crafting a compelling cover letter. Now I'm very skeptical with this because I don't think I've so much, crafted cover letters and all, but I still added it because of the next step that the next tip I'm going to mention, right? Well, I've crafted a few cover letters and I got good responses from them. I think I've crafted about five and I got a text back from say like three. And in fact, I got the jobs on the three occasions, right? And these are some of the things I do. So I personalize the cover letter, right? If I see the job ad somewhere, like anywhere, right? And I see send your CV to so email, the next thing I want to do is then check the domain of that email, right? Again, finding jobs is a job on its own, right? You need to put in the effort. Trust me. You can't just like cast your net wide and hope that it catches something. This is one of the many strategies that people use. So check the domain of the email. So take for instance, send maybe on the job ad, they're saying send an email with your CV to hello@musafalabi.com, right? The domain is at musafalabi.com, right? That means atmosafalabi.com is most likely the company, right? Then go on Google, search at afalabinosis.com, right? Then from there, find their website, find their LinkedIn page, find their staff, right? It's a lot of work, but trust me, it often pays off. So one thing they want to do is check the list of their employees to see who is most likely a decision maker. So I'm saying CTOs, COOs, people and culture guys, HR guys, lead PMs, head of product, head of design, and all of that. Now, draft your letter and then personalize it to them, right? So, we're in a age of we're in an age of information overload, right? And you can attest to it that if you receive an email to say, "Hi, dear customer," and you receive another email that says, "Hi, dear Latifa," you tend to pay more attention. It might be very subtle, right? But you tend to pay more attention to that extra effort of putting in your name, right? So I'm an hiring manager. I got an email from "Hi, dear," from Moses that says, "Hi, dear hiring manager," and I got an email from Favor that says, "Hi, dear Latifa." There's that place of personalization, right? In that, so make sure that you address it to the hiring manager. You can go an extra mile, check out their interests, let them know in the email to say, "Oh, see, I know what you do, I know what your company does. I have I wouldn't mind, doing the same. I wouldn't mind getting in your company and all of that." Now, and then watch your chances being improved. Second thing is storytelling, right? You should learn how to, tell stories. Can you guys still hear me, please? All right.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
we can.
all right, thank you. So you should learn to tell stories without, boring the person out, right? Imagine, for instance, say when I was applying for internship roles, I sent a cover letter to a company, right? One of the things I would love to let them know is that, see, I studied philosophy, tech interests me, then I did All School Africa, and now I'm looking for a job, right? That way, they have like high level insight into my story, and who knows, they might, fall for me. Oh, this guy crossed from philosophy to tech. Wow, that's interesting. I'd like to hear what he has to say. I'd like to hear what he has to achieve, right? Then the third thing you should do in your cover letter is that you should add clear call to action. So express your interest in an interview. There's something interesting I always do, right? I will when I sent a cover letter, right? Dear so and so, I'm a Falabi in your lab, 3 years experience, blah 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 blah. I wouldn't end the email with I hope to hear back from you. I will not. I end the emails with things like respectfully though, things like you can please share your calendar link for me to book a call with you. You can please, you just make them know that, see, I'm not just a generic guy. Like, I want this thing for myself. You need to show that, that longing for the role, right? So common mistake that people use, generic cover letters, copy and paste cover letters. People literally go on ChatGPT to copy cover letter and then paste it, right? So I did this, but fortunately, maybe because of my CV, I later landed the interview. But when I saw that stuff, like when I checked my email back and I saw that thing, I just like placed my hand on my head. So what happened was I saw this job ad on LinkedIn and I applied to it and I saw I needed to put a cover letter and I was on the road, like I was literally traveling that day. So I just like typed in the text on Gemini because I have Gemini on my phone to say, hey, drafts me a cover letter for for so company. I'm applying for the program manager role. And then I copied it and then I pasted it and then I sent it. Now, about 2 weeks later, when I got the invite via email, responding to the email I sent to them, that was when I now saw that, there's this curly braces that ChatGPT adds that says replace the hiring manager, replace the company name. I literally sent everything like that. I did not replace anything. I'm like, God, I beg. But yeah, again, maybe because of my CV and the God factor, I was able to land the interview and then by extension, I was able to land the job. Then the second mistake is overly lengthy content. Hey, God, I beg. Overly lengthy content, right? You see people send cover letters that literally has 6 paragraphs. Why? Like, why would you do that? Knowing fully well that you're applying to this role, there's about 1,000 other people that apply to this role. It's showing that you're not even empathetic, to say the least, right? So one thing you want to do is keep it short, keep it concise. I want to see if I can, pull up a cover letter. Okay, maybe I'll just upload the slide and then I'll update the slide and then I will make it available publicly. Cover letter. Okay, I can't find anyone on the book, but yeah, I'll update the slide and um do the needful. So, are you guys still with me? All right. Let me check
Yeah, we're
comments.
here.
Okay, I think I have a question already. Okay, let's just take everything together at the end of the call. Okay. Sorry, my trackpad. Yeah, leveraging networking and referrals. There's this thing. I think Paul from um yeah, Paul from one product community like that often says that when everything fails, look within your network, right? When you're trying everything, you're sending cover letters, your CV, you believe that it is optimized, you've probably sent it to industry leaders, top guys to say, oh, please, you have like 5-10 minutes to, review my CV with me and all of that. And you still are not bagging that, landing that interview. I think it's time for you to leverage networking opportunities and referrals, right? For me, I've gotten gigs. I'm saying pro management gigs, right? From just posting on my um WhatsApp status to say, hey, I'm available for a job, right? I think in December I got two of such, right? And another thing you can do is post on your Twitter, post on your LinkedIn, let people know that you're actually looking for a job, right? Gone are the days of you're having challenges and then you're keeping it to yourself. Because I know that not having a job can be quite challenging, right? The Nigerian economic reality is even like a problem on its own, right? So you don't just like keep things like that to yourself. Come on PIP community, post that, oh, you're looking for a job. Thank God for PIP that has a job post channel, right? So people even just come and just say, oh, see, I found this job opening, right? And then I'm making it available, right? So one of the things you want to do is engage with recruiters and industry professionals. And how do you do this? Target people on LinkedIn, like target people on LinkedIn aggressively. I remember 2, 3 years ago when I'm still hustling by the way, but she's when I was still looking for that first PM role, right? One of the things that stood out for me is that every week I make sure that I exhaust my LinkedIn connections. So in case some of you don't know, you can actually exhaust the number of people you can connect to in a week. I think it's about 100 or so. So what did I do? I paid my cousin 1,000 naira per week for her to just go on LinkedIn, search for certain people. So search for chief product officers, search for HR, search for this, and connect with them, right? So I did that week in and week out, such that my connection was so optimized that if I upload anything, I know that the right audience are the ones receiving it, right? I'm not saying that okay, maybe you should police kind of people you connect with, because I've heard people even found job through software developers and all. But you can literally narrow down the kind of people you connect with, and then it can take you places, it can land you jobs. When I was looking for my first remote international degree, one of the things I did was I started connecting with recruiters in the US, in the UK, right? And in less than 2 months, right, I started talking with some of them. Some of them even started checking out my profile themselves. Then when LinkedIn, tells me, oh, they checked your profile, I go and text them immediately that, oh, I saw you check out my profile. This is my CV. I'm open for opportunities, right? So engage with recruiters, connect with industry professionals, attend webinars. This is one of such. I say that I found my first mentor, like my first proper mentor, through PIP weekly check-in calls. And what do? I just join calls, listening to what people have to say, connect with them and all. I remember there was a group mentorship session that Rogers held. And then Rogers was like, oh, can someone just send in their LinkedIn profile? And then I sent him mine, and mine was one of those he checked. And then he just came back on the call to say, oh, I checked this guy's profile. This guy is so good. I love the way he tailors his content. You guys can do this, you guys can do that, looking at his profile, right? So that is where you want to be. You want to be in people's faces, right? You don't want to like shy off from opportunities. So another thing you can do is attend career fairs. I'm not big on this anyway, but I make sure that when I, attend events and companies have their stands there, I, talk to them. Oh, I'm open to opportunities. I love what you're doing. This is industry. This is this. This is that. Then another thing is meetups, right? I don't know if Bridget is on this call, but PIP, for instance, hold like hangouts in different states. I think every quarter, right? And from that hangout, I've literally met people. Like I've met people like I introduce myself to say, oh wow, what do you do? This is what I do as well. I don't know if there's any opening in your company. I have this friend, Bolu. We attended one PIP hangout. I think that was like last year at Yaba. And Bolu does not play snookers, but then she was standing by the snooker table, right? And some people were just discussing to say, oh, workload is in my company is like a lot and this and that. And she was looking for her first PM, right? And then she just chimed in to say, "Oh, I don't mind, taking some of this load off you if you can employ me, right?" And that hangout was on Saturday. By Thursday the next week, she was already a staff of the company, well paid, right? And at the time, we were even like trying to, do our NYC and all of that. And they were just like, "No, don't worry, just we'll handle your deployment to our company such that you can then continue your NYSC and then get paid for it." So one of the things you want to do is go for meetups, right? Utilize your LinkedIn connections, 741. Utilize your LinkedIn connections, utilize your alumni connections. I would be honest, this alumni connections has never worked for me, right? But I've heard of cases of people that this works for. But again, I use LinkedIn connections a lot. I remember there was a company that reached out to me and the offer was juicy, right? And then I also thought to myself that, oh, if they could find me, right? That means they found other guys, right? So how do I stand out? The next thing I did was I checked out the company, checked out all their staffs, right? And then I saw that, oh, one of PIP's volunteers is a staff. And I DM'd the guy on WhatsApp to say, "Hey, so and so, your company reached out to me. I would really love this opportunity." Interestingly, the guy was even the person that they were going to replace, right? He was relocating, he was one they were going to replace. And then from that conversation, we were just like, "Just hold on a minute." And within like 10 minutes, he texted me, "Can I have your CV?" And in a few minutes, it was just like, "I sent your CV to the head of product already." So you can see how many orders I scaled just by utilizing my connection. So if I'd gone through the normal process, I know I sent my CV to them, they would have reviewed it, I'll meet with HR, then I'll probably meet with the product manager and this and that. I scaled all of that using my connection. I just, "Hey, I'm interested in this role. I see you work here. How can you help me?" And then he scaled it for me. So, pro tips: be polite and specific. You don't want to beat about the bush. I think I have an article on my LinkedIn page. I actually have an article on my LinkedIn page on how to, reach out to people, right? So you can check that out. So be specific, be polite. You don't want to beat about the bush. You don't want to, as much as you want to be sure they are fine, you don't want to know what they ate today, what they are doing right now, right? Go straight to the point. I need you to refer me to your company and all of that. The second thing is offer value before requesting assistance. This is very, very important. I say this a lot. Always come from the place of value. There was a time I was trying to apply to a company in the UK, and what did I do? I checked out their products. I saw where their challenges were, right? Worked on a proper document for them, knowing fully well that even if they don't use it, I can always upload it to my link on my LinkedIn page, and it's a plus for me, right? Then I sent it to their co-founder, right? So their founder actually on LinkedIn to say, "Hey, I checked out your company. I'm interested in you. I saw you have social challenges. I have certain ideas and this and that." And I got the response, right? Though I didn't proceed with the job, but yes, I got a response and it opened up other opportunities for me and even my friends, right? Because at some point they were like, "Oh, they needed like 5 other guys." And I was able to like reach out to my friends, say, "Oh, there's an opportunity. Are you guys up for taking it? 3 hours a week, well paid gig," right? So come from a place of value. Um, yeah, I think I've said enough on leveraging network and referrals. So the last the next point is master interview preparation. I think over the course of the week, we are going to upload a video from last week's session on the YouTube channel. So you can please check that out. I don't want to go over this whole interview preparation course again because we had a thorough discussion on it last week. But yes, prepare for your interview. You don't want to turn up there looking unprepared. They're showing up for interview. You don't even know what the company does, right? It's going to be a total mess, I can assure you. Then, final thought: a strong resume and LinkedIn profile will boost your visibility. A well-crafted cover letter increases interview chances. Networking and referrals can fast-track your job opportunities. Trust me. Proper interview preparation sets you apart, and you can never remove the God factor, right? Um, you know, last year, I think about December, I took a break from, work. My my previous job in December, and then I was open to taking opportunities in November. I was open to taking opportunities by December, right? And on what's it called, on people in product job post page, I was able to find jobs, like literally jobs that I just check. People will just say, oh, they saw this opportunity, and then I text, oh, I'm interested. Do you know anyone within the company? And then they refer me, and then I do my interviews, right? And I think in January, within a week, I got two offers. I got more offers, right? So I even got an offer where the company was like, oh, your experience is beyond what we're looking for, and then we won't take you. So all of these tips, come into play. And then what I'll tell you is that apply these strategies this week. In fact, as early as this night, you can, optimize your CV so that by tomorrow you can start uploading on LinkedIn, right? Then stay consistent and keep refining your approach. So one of the beauty of this is that we are all PMs, and that means we have a heart. We should have a heart that is open to growth, right? So we are saying, okay, I'm applying this strategy, um, it's not working enough, then the next thing you want to do is improve on it, right? But then you wouldn't even know if it's working or not if you are not trying at all. So start, stay consistent, and then refine your approach. If you're saying, oh, sending 5 messages in a day work, try sending 10. If you're sending 5 messages, you're getting one call back, send 10. That's two. Send 15, that's three. So with this, I'm open to taking questions and answering them. Thank you very much. Okay, we have about 13 minutes. Thank you, Chidima, for clapping for me. Thank you, Joy. I have sore throat already. But yeah, so if you have any questions, you can please raise your hands and I will take them. I say I have one in the comment section as well. So maybe I should go in the comment section first. Abby, I can see your hand. Thank you, Kodri. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I just graduated from old school last year, but I have about 3 years of full-time work experience from my school period. A lot of times, employers don't seem to consider that as a work experience. What part of my CV do I put that? Also, I'm transitioning from product design to product management. So I think I'm not sure, but I think from this, I can see that maybe you are putting the year you graduated in your CV, right? Because if you are not putting it in your CV, they wouldn't know where you graduated. So please remove that from your CV. That should help. That's on one hand. And then you said you are transitioning from product design to product management. How do you tailor that? Honestly, if you're transitioning from product design, that means you have proper design. That means you have, if not proper, that is a level of design experience, right? And I think that is very marketable. So what I would advise you particularly to do is that in your CV, add a section to say about you, right? This is a very good use case for adding that section. So add a section saying about you, and then states there that you have also experience in product design. If you have a portfolio, right? Just add into brackets, click here to see my portfolio. So let me show you an example of what I mean. Okay, so about me, I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I am X. I have blah 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 blah. Yeah, I have the years of experience as a product designer. Then in brackets, click here to see my portfolio link. Right, then you can then continue the text and then highlight your experiences. So another thing you should try to do in highlighting those experiences is point out to particular instances where what you did as a designer intersected with what a product manager would do, and then the value that brought to the business. So you're saying, um, in this instance now, you're saying, Bonds, Miami, USA, product designer, October 2023 to present. So maybe you led the design, you led a sprint, right? So led so sprint, that's so and so. So find things that intersect, right? Then which translate to business values. So I hope I've been able to answer you with that. Right. So Abby, yeah, Abby, I am ready to take your question.
Okay, hi Moses. Thank you very much for that very, very detailed explanation. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
really learned a lot. My notes pad is really full. And I'm looking to implement all that you've said. So I have a question on the interview part. I'm sorry, when your CV, you mentioned that there's some people that have 20 years of experience and their CV is just like 1 or 2 pages. So how do you now know what to take out and what to actually put? Because for example, if as a product manager, if you've done like so many wonderful things, are you saying that you would not now put that on your CV because you want to make it 2 pages or you only want to make it 1 page? Then my second question will be for a, for someone that has been working before now, maybe okay, so I use myself as an example. I started my career in customer service, became a customer service manager, and then now transition to product management. So do I now take out that customer service from my CV and only just streamline it to my product management role so that my CV is now fits into 1 page or 2 pages? That's my question.
So, sorry if I miscommunicated, but what I'm saying is, you can try to keep your CV within a page or 2 pages, right? But if you're saying maybe you have like long years of experience, and then it's going to um extend, right? If I got you right. So I would advise that what you do at that point is that make sure that at least, even if it is going to be like 4 pages, right? Worst case scenario, 4 or 5 pages. Make sure that everything you're putting in your experience is relevant to the job, right? So personally, I think I have about 3 or 4 CVs, right? That I use for different roles. I have a CV to even apply for product owners, right? For a product owner role, right? But then the defining factor or the differentiating factor on all of these CVs is that each of them is tailored to the role. So you said you're coming from a customer success experience, right? And you are now a PM and all. Now, in this case, if you're applying for a PM job, you don't want to add how many tickets you resolve. You don't want to add, okay, maybe you can add how many tickets you resolve, but as a customer success guy, maybe you did like 10 things, right? 10 achievements. I can bet it that only about five at the most would be relevant to a product manager role, right? And even maybe less than that would be relevant to that particular job's description. I don't know if you get me, Abby.
Yes, I do. I'm
Yeah,
following.
I don't know if you agree with me on that. That if you did 10 things, not
Yes.
all,
Mm.
not yeah, not all will be relevant to a product manager role, and not all of that. I see what I did there. Would even be relevant to the job description of the job you're applying to. So, in essence, I think one thing I would just try to encourage you to do is when you're applying for roles, take your time, right? Use AI tools if necessary. So, take your time to make sure that only the relevant things tied to the job description is um is sent out, because it's only on rare occasions that a company will just go on ChatGPT, for instance, to copy job descriptions. They know what they are looking for. So that means if they see a CV, it is just that thing they are looking for that they will be looking for in that CV, right? So what you should then help them to do is that don't bore them out. Make sure that you remove everything that can cloud how you can solve their problem and help them to see you, right? Because I've seen it that one of the things that company do, like looking for the right talent is also like a major problem for companies. So if you know that this is something you can help with, help them see you, right? So that you can provide value for them. I don't know if I've answered you, Abby.
Yes, you have. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Uh Jibril, thank you very much for this wonderful session. You're welcome, sir. Have a very poor communication skill, which I guess as a PM is a capital no. Although I'm also very good at research. I need advice for me to stand out on that. Any recommendations of people to look up to, what will be appreciated. So I would say that your CV is like, see it as an advert, right, for yourself. Excuse me. See your CV as an advert for yourself, right? So imagine Money Point is advertising to you now that um, they do say 2 seconds. They pride themselves in 2 seconds transfer speed, right? So you send money with us, it takes 2 seconds, right? But then maybe on their app, right, they have bugs with buying recharge card. They will not add that to their advertisement. That's what's it. What you want to do is all of the strong points, put it out there for them to see. That's one. Then the second thing is if you can identify the problem, they say a problem identified is half solved. You can identify the problem, you can then solve it. So I would advise that there's this, I can't remember their names. Communication was also one of the problems I had when I started as a PM, especially because I was dumped in a team. I found myself in a team where all of the engineers I was working with were seniors. Like I'm saying 6, 8 years seniors. And I only had 1 year experience on my hand, right? And my 1 year experience was not even product at the time. So one of the things I then did was I went on Udemy to take skills on communications for product courses on communications for product managers. I'm trying to sorry, I'm using my work laptop to take this call, so I don't have access to a lot of things. But yeah, you can just go on Udemy to check out courses on communication, advanced communication. I think that's the name of the course, advanced communication for product managers. And they will walk you through how best to, improve your communication skills. But one thing I want to let you understand is if you're applying for a role, you don't want to let them know that your communication skill is poor, right? And some of these things, get better over time when it comes to um product management. Like as you do them, you improve yourself and all of that. So you even at the very first instance want to get the job, right? So this might sound unethical, but in your skill set, you can add like communications there, but make sure that by the time you are put on the job, you have improved, you have gone from say a 0/10 to like a 4/10, right? I can show you that in no time your 3/10 will then come, and before you know it, you're a 10/10 in communications. I don't know if I answered you, Jibril. You're welcome. Hey, we have just 2 minutes left. 1 minute. Thank you for the extensive session. You spoke of some prompts can use for series and LinkedIn. Where should these prompts be used? Is it an AI tool? Yes. So you can use it on Gemini, you can use it on cloud, you can use it on ChatGPT, right? Just make sure that you provide context. And the prompts will even help with providing the context you need. Hi, Dom. Good evening. Can please unmute your mic.
Good evening, Moses.
Hi, Dom. Good evening.
Thank you so much for taking us through this process.
You're welcome.
My question is, for now I am not applying now. Presently, I'm not applying because I'm in a transition phase.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to see how I can equip myself and boost up my confidence like somebody who is newly coming into the system, into the profession before I can start applying. So at this stage of my career, what advice would you give me, sir, to Hopefully.
I'm not a star. I'm just Moses. But yes, I think I got your question. And what I'll just tell you is, I think you're in the right space to even start with. You're in a community. I don't know if you're a part of the PIP community. So what I would advise you to do is, like I said last week, go on PIP community Slack channel and introduce yourself. Let people know that you're just transiting. Yeah, you're just transitioning. Sorry about that. Let people know that you're just transitioning, right? And then even at that point, you might get lucky. Someone that's that's done the same transitioning from where you're coming from might see that and respond to you. That's one. The second thing you want to do is document your journey, right? So as you're transitioning, let people know that you can just put up a LinkedIn post to say, oh, they are exploring opportunities in product management and all. Again, you don't know where the post can get to. Now, the third thing is get a course, right? Get a course on product management, right? So, but then as you're getting that course, as you're taking the course, make sure that you do a lot of um portfolio project, right? So today you learn about PRD, take your time, right? Take your time to, draft 3, 4, 5 PRDs to be sure that, oh, you get the concept and then put it on LinkedIn to say, oh, on Monday, I learned about PRDs. Today's Friday, I took some time off in the week to create PRDs, and here are the PRDs are created, here are links to it. I am open to constructive criticisms, right? I know top guys like Bridget, like Princess, there's also Temilolua as well. Even myself, I find interest in things like that. So if I have the time, I can always then check and then leave comments, say, okay, do this, do that, right? Then I've said join communities, right? PIP is a very good place to start. Join communities, let people know that you're transitioning. That is very important. Let them know so that if anybody has valuable tips, they can help with that. Then take courses and put your courses into actions, put your learnings into action. So you learn about user stories, draft as many user stories as possible. Trust me, they will come in handy, right? So I think that's a very good way to start. Then I can assure you that if you put your heart to it, in 3 months, you should be at the place at the point where you're looking for internships, right? So if you already have a job, you can even talk to your HR to say, oh, I want to start contributing to the product management team, right? So you're doing your full time, it takes a lot of work, trust me, but then you're doing your full-time job, or then you're joining the product marketing, the product team for their stand-up. So you're joining their stand-ups, you're understudying them. Maybe they want to quickly create user stories. Text the product manager on Slack to say, hey, do you mind if I do that for you instead, right? So at that point, you're getting experience, first-hand experiences. So two things, you can then even move from your department to being a product manager within your company, or on the side, you're already looking for internships. So I know there are internships out there actually, like, and then do in your leisure time to collaborate with people and then build products. I don't know if I made sense to you though.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
Okay, I don't think we'll be able to take any questions again. This is 8:05. I have another meeting I have to prepare for and all. So it was nice doing this with the community. I'm not promising anything, but you can please connect with me on LinkedIn and drop DMs if you have any questions. You can also drop DM questions on Slack, right? There are even more people that are open to responding to you on Slack. And this is more like an ad, right? So I'm also like trying to put together a course that will help people easily transition and um thrive as PM, right? And don't worry, it's not a paid course. I'm going to make it available for free because I've also enjoyed a lot of benefits from the community. So this is a very good way for me to also give back to the community at large. So you can be on the lookout for that. Doing content is stressful, but I'm going to make sure that I make that available. So till next time, I think I'll hand over to Fortune now. Fortune, are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm on the call. Thank you
Very
very much, Moses. We appreciate it very much. Thank you everyone for joining our call. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.